Hey guys, Rob here. In today's video, we're going to do something a little bit different and we're going to talk about how you can use persuasion to get more money, basically, and to increase your business. You guys love to watch me react to the different gurus out there, break down who's real and who's not, break down what persuasion techniques and marketing techniques they're using when they're speaking on camera to keep you under their spell. But one thing I want to talk about, which is even more powerful, is how you can use some of these persuasion techniques in your day-to-day selling when you're trying to grow a business. I'm assuming that you're watching this channel because you either have some sort of enjoyment in business or you are running a business, and the only way to really grow a business is to sell or market to people. So why not teach you some of these strategies of persuasion, of what you can implement in your call scripts and your sales pitches as well. Just as a side note, guys, it is currently 6 minutes past 5 in the morning. Why am I showing you that? Because it's a productivity tip for you. You need to learn, if you're running a business or trying to do big things, to carve out the time where there are very few distractions, either at the start of the day or either at the end of the day, whenever you have a bit of downtime away from people, right? So, at this time, I'm not getting any texts coming in. I'm not getting any emails coming in. My girlfriend's still in bed for the next 3 hours, potentially, because it's a Saturday, right? But I've made a commitment to myself. This is a persuasion technique in itself, is making a commitment. I've made a commitment to myself that I'm going to beat my competitors. I'm going to do the things they're not willing to do. And I'm going to get ahead by being as focused as possible in the times that I can be focused, which is why I'm up this morning. Also, productivity technique again is, I know I've got about 2-3 clear hours. So it's added that urgency on for me where I'm going to pull the trigger and execute for the next few hours, because I know that might be the only gap that I've got this morning to do that, right? So it adds that urgency, it forms with my identity, and that I've made that commitment to myself, which is a persuasion technique in itself. Persuasion is a fantastic topic because you can use it on yourself to make yourself better. You can use it to increase your sales, which I'm going to teach you about today. You can also use it to get better relationships as well, to read people. It's great stuff, persuasion is. And this is why it's so important, which is why I'm trying to teach it, because it really does help people get further ahead in life, okay? So let's get straight to it. You are selling to a person. Let's paint a scenario so we've got something to work with. Let's just say you are here and you are currently trying to sell to this person here some sort of product. This square represents your product, and whatever it is, it's gonna solve some sort of problem that they've been having, and this right here, this product you're selling, is the solution to their problem, okay? So what type of persuasion techniques would you do when you're either pitching this person or having a call with this person to get them to ethically be more interested in this product that you're offering? There's a few. Let's start first of all about pre-framing this call so that we don't get too many objections at the end. So when you're in sales, one of the easy outs for a person is to say at the end of the call, at the end of the pitch, you know what, this sounds okay what you're trying to sell me, but I actually need to think about it. And really, when a person says they need to think about it, it's because really they're not that interested. The pain point is either not burning enough and your solution isn't potentially good enough. So they need to think about it is a loose way of basically saying no to you, but they're just trying to be polite. So now, knowing this information, we can use something called the consistency and commitment bias to actually prevent that from happening. So we know that at the end of the call, it's either going to be a yes, a no, or some sort of objection, like I need to think about it, right? So what you say to the person at the start of the call, because you want them to not go down this route, because you'd rather, being a person trying to sell your product, right, or sell, increase your business, you'd rather hear a no than hear I need to think about it and be strung along. It's kind of like in dating, right? If there's a girl out there that you really like, rather than her kind of stringing you along, you would prefer her saying no to you I will never be interested in you. So you can forget about her and move on. It's the same thing in sales, right? So how do you frame this with a person? You're going to have that sales call or that sales pitch with them. And during that sales call, you're going to have that small bit of, small talk at the start, that rapport building talk. But ultimately, you're there to sell them something. They know they're there to listen and see if it's a good solution, whatever you're trying to offer them, right? But what you want to do using persuasion is to get them to avoid going down the route of, I need to think about it. You really just want a straightforward answer from them, a yes or a no. So you can pre-frame the call using this commitment and consistency bias to get them to commit to not doing that. And here is how you do it. So you would say something like this to them. Look, by the end of the call, you're either going to be interested in this or you're not. If you're interested in this, great, we can work together, we can do X, Y, and Z solution for you. It's going to be brilliant. If you're not interested in it, no is a totally respectable response. And I really appreciate, when people are just super honest with me. What I'd like to try and avoid today is you saying something like, I need to think about it. Because when people say things like that to me, I usually, in my experience, know that the person really means no. They just don't want to hurt my feelings. But I really just, for the sake of time and things, would just appreciate, a straightforward answer and no. Is that fair? When you say, is that fair? The person's always going to be like, yeah, absolutely. So now what you've done is you have got them to commit to not saying that at the end of the call. And they're now not going to say something like that. So when you get to the end of the call, they're either going to give you a yes or a no. And if they by chance do happen to say, I need to think about it, you just say, is it really that you're saying no, but you just don't want to, hurt my feelings like we talked about at the start of the call? And then they're likely going to give you the real objection behind that. So this is an effective way using persuasion to deal with that objection at the end of the call. You can wait until that objection comes up at the end of the call. I just find that this is more effective because when a person says to you at the end of a sales pitch, at the end of the call, I need to think about it, you have to then dive through the smoke and mirrors. And you have to be like, well, what exactly do you need to think about? What is on your mind right now, and try and dig into the objection. But if you've already got them to commit to not giving you that answer, it's unlikely to actually come up, and you're more likely to have a direct conversation with them and an honest conversation with them, which is what you want when you're trying to sell something to someone. And the reason why is because they have committed to the identity of being straightforward and honest at the start, right? It's a very, very small persuasion technique, but it's very effective. It's ethical as well because you can have an open and honest conversation with the person. Second persuasion principle is the persuasion principle of social proof. So what social proof is when you look on Amazon and you see something with a ton of 5-star reviews, and it's got thousands of 5-star reviews, 5,000 people have bought it in the last week, right? They've got tons of great reviews about it. That is social proof. You're going to read the reviews to help you make the decision on what action you want to take, and the action is buying that product. And social proof is actually defined as humans look to other humans to determine what behavior they're going to make. So in the context of sales or marketing, we look to other people who've purchased this product to see what sort of experience they've had as well. So how do you use this in sales calls, knowing that social proof is a very effective persuasion technique? You, during your small talks, during your little tiny, back and forths in the call, you can just sprinkle in client testimonials. So for instance, you're talking to them about what sort of problem they have. And they're like, you know what, I have X, Y, and Z problem. And it's been going on such a long time. And I'm just, it's just really, absolute pain in my ass. And I'm just trying to solve it. And you could say, you know what, Vicky, who's a client of mine, we used to work together. She actually had this exact same problem. And she managed to get over it because we implemented X, Y, and Z solution, your solution. And it took her about 2 weeks to get over that. But I know, and the reason I'm telling you that is because I know how painful that problem is. But trust me, there is a light at the end of the tunnel there. And due to the complexity of that problem, yada, 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 however, whatever the problem is framed as to you, it is possible to overcome that, and we've done that with my program as well. So what have I casually done there? I've not overtly told them, Tom and Vicky really like my product and it's the best product ever. What I've casually done is just sprinkled in, hey, this is a old client of mine. They had the same problem as you're having right now, and it is a huge problem, so I definitely understand it, and they managed to overcome that problem by implementing my solution. If you can sprinkle just in conversation little things like that in your sales calls, it is so much easier to sell to a person, because they're thinking, you know what, this person has actually got experience with my problems that I'm trying to solve, and because of this, I actually think they have got a very satisfactory solution and reasonable, something which I think I will get a lot of value out of. So sprinkle it in, don't do it too much, because if you do it too much and in an overt way, like I was saying before, like just straight up telling them, these are the testimonials for my product, people see through that and they kind of feel like this guy is trying to just sell me. But if you have that real natural conversation with the person, I'm actually familiar with this problem because one of my other clients have it as well. And because of this specific section in whatever you're selling, course, product, service, because of this specific section in my course here, we actually fully covered that. And that helped Vicky because they were able to do X, Y, and Z, right? Social proof. You've sprinkled it in, highly, highly, highly persuasive. A third persuasion technique in the call is a driver of action. So unless people have some form of time pressure or some form of number pressure, it's less likely they're going to take action. So what do I mean by this? So if you've seen the principles of urgency and scarcity and how they're persuasion principles, right? And to be honest with you, I've worked in multiple different markets, and some people, don't use it very ethically. They're like, you've got 3 hours to buy this product, otherwise this product's never going to be sold again. Like Ty Lopez, for instance, like sends these emails out, and then like the next day he's sending an email out saying, the offer's been extended, we've opened it for another day. It's like, it's fake urgency, bro. But fake urgency actually loses its potency because people start to detect its fake urgency. Same thing with fake scarcity as well. There's only several items remaining of this product. And when somebody says there's only several items, but you really know it's an ebook and they have unlimited items, right? It loses its potency. So there's a misunderstanding of persuasion, even with giant gurus who do, hundreds of millions a year, right? So what I'm trying to teach you right now is how to use persuasion both ethically and in a manner which is actually effective as well. Now, I'll tell you a quick story. I had my friend running me Facebook ads for some automations that I was previously selling. It was like a loom automation. You guys will have seen it if you've been on my channel a while. And we could not get the Facebook ads to work as well. Like no one was buying. I spent so much money. I was just trying to get it working. And I said to him, look, I'm going to try this for one more week and then screw it. I'm just going with organic in this. And I was like, I'm going to put a timer at the top of my website to let them know there's a countdown for the week left, right? And so we'd sold nothing during this period, these weeks. And in that following week, with the only change that we made on that webpage is have that countdown timer at the top, which was a real genuine countdown timer. During that week of the countdown timer going from 6 days left and 22 hours to 5 days left for 2 hours and counting all the way down to 0. It was a real genuine timer. I sold so much in that week that I covered all of the losses or the money that I lost in my Facebook ads for the last few months. And I made some profit on top as well, all because I added that timer. Now, when that timer ran out, did I then reset the timer? No, because I'm not a piece of shit, right? So I could have reset the timer to bring in a load more money, but the point is that urgency and scarcity is very, very effective. These pages had all sorts of different types of persuasion elements in them, but people only pulled the trigger when they got that fear of missing out. So there's a valuable lesson in this. And the valuable lesson is that urgency and scarcity are action drivers. So how do you use this ethically in a way which really, really helps? If you're selling some sort of coaching program, you tell them how many spots you've got left and you make it clear to them, hey, like I've got 3 spots left in this program. This is the price. This is at the end of the call, of course. I've got 3 spots left of this program. I think you would be a great fit for it because you like other clients, social proof, who've also got X, Y, and Z result. And when I'm saying I've got 3 spots left in this program, I genuinely mean I've got 3 spots left in this program. This isn't some sort of fake urgency. I take cohorts of people on. So you can actually, as part of your urgency offer, only have a certain number of spaces, right, available. And if you're running it as some sort of coaching program or some sort of service program, it's beneficial actually to you. So it's changing your service a little bit. It's beneficial actually to you to only sell a certain amount of people at a time because it gives you the time to focus on that group of people to make sure they get good results. Secondly, as well, it's beneficial to them because they get the best learning experience because you're the most available there. And thirdly, people feel like when they don't have some sort of cohort or some sort of cap on their service, genuinely, they feel like I'm not going to put a cap on it because if I do, I'm going to limit myself. But actually what they don't realize is urgency and scarcity are massive drivers of action. So just by having those things on there, you will actually sell more than having it uncapped. Do you see what I mean? Right? So you might as well have some sort of cap on it. So if you're doing sales calls, and it's for individual people, you take cohorts on. You have limited number of clients you can take on. You are only offering this service for a certain amount of time. And when you say these things, guys, part of running a business is having good character and commit. Remember we talked about the commitment principle, very powerful to use on yourself as well. When I say I'm going to do something like get up, at 4:30 in the morning and cut out time for myself, I mean it and I stick to my word because my word means more than anything else, right? So I commit to it. So commit yourself to making some of these changes. Commit yourself to the idea that when you are going to add in some sort of urgency and scarcity, you friggin' stick with it, right? Because these things help build up your integrity, help you know that you can rely on yourself as well. These are just persuasion elements for yourself, guys. This is obviously a huge topic. But let's get back to the point. Urgency and scarcity are massively helpful. A good way to do this in marketing is to do product launches. So you open up the gates for your product or your service or your coaching program for 5 days to take on a cohort of people in that time, right? And once you do that, then you close the gates, and you genuinely mean you close the gates because it stops the distrust in your clients and customers' mind, but B as well, you're sticking to the initial plan, and then you can start moving on to the next stages, which is service delivery. Right? These are very, very effective techniques, and if you implement them, you are going to, just these small things are going to really change things up for you. Like I say, guys, like I consult for 7 to 9 figure companies, and I've been in this game a long time now. I've done sales, I've done marketing, I've done launches, I've sold automations, I've done affiliates, right? I've done everything, right? Coaching programs, you name it. So let's summarize what I've said. Let's get the commitment from the person at the start of the call that they're not going to give you any objections, that they are okay, and that you're okay with them saying yes or no. No is perfectly fine response. Secondly, throughout your call as well, sprinkle elements of social proof. You don't do it overtly, you just do it casually as part of the conversation. It is natural, it's very ethical to do, and you're being truthful as well, right? This is just effectively conveying the value of what you can give to the person. Thirdly, use urgency and scarcity to drive action, right? Because people, think back to that Facebook advert example, people like to pull the trigger when there's some sort of limit and fear of missing out on them. Okay, guys, I hope this video is very helpful. Let me know If you have any questions about this down below, I'm thinking of doing a persuasion academy soon. We're going to cover everything from sales, marketing to life to persuading yourself so you're the most effective version of yourself, to all sorts of different things in it, helping your relationships and things like this. I'm unsure how to position this, and it's still very much in the infancy stage, just an idea in my head. But if you have any ideas about that as well, please just let me know in the comments below. Okay, guys, take it easy. See you in the next one.